Hey, thanks for joining us again. Always glad to be able to come together and share our thoughts on marriage and just life in general, as we go through things that kind of spawn discussion. We want to circle back around and
share it with you.
Share with you. So one of the things that we've been working on lately is communication.
Yes.
And how we relate to each other, how we understand each other, and how we respond to each other. Especially when maybe we don't, truly pause and stop and think upon what the other person is saying and not trying to understand the heart behind it.
I love that. Not understanding the heart behind it. And that is really, but it's been on both sides,
right?
In different times. And there have been literally, and we've been married. I mean, you do not have to just meet someone to have a misunderstanding. There's so many, it's so many differences in the way that we perceive through emotions or through past experiences. And so many times we can be so quick to assume something, and it's just not the case. So basically today we want to talk about listening and how that creates, when we are intentionally, actively listening, how that creates a buffer to not have those crazy confusion, misunderstandings that come into place. Right. How important communication is and how we are perceived by our spouse when we don't communicate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because, you think about it, the foundations of the world was created through power of
words.
Spoken word.
Yes. Yeah.
And so it takes all the fruits of the Spirit to be able to effectively communicate.
That is so good. It does take the fruit of the Spirit, because the fruit of the Spirit, one of them is self-control. One of the fruit is, thank you. That was so powerful what you just said, because if we don't have the fruit of self-control, we'll want to respond quickly, right? And listen. I do it. I think we all want to just jump in to reply instead of, like you said, to practice the pause.
Right.
I love that.
Well, it's a lot of times in communication, it's become more, quick. You want to respond. Yes. It's like a game of ping pong. It's it becomes like a debate, almost
a back and forth. Yes, a ping pong. That's
right.
So good.
And I think with society, it's faster communication, right? If you watch a video, they take away all the pauses in videos so that it's constant flow of
keeps your attention.
Speech.
Yeah,
and that's kind of trains our minds, I would believe, to
skip.
Yeah. Don't pause and just respond without any gap or refrain.
I think what you said is so powerful, because our minds are going faster and faster. This world is going faster and faster. And so it's almost like we're in the habit of give me the Cliff's Notes version. For the younger generation that does not know what Cliff Notes are, it was like this small little abridged summary of a very long novel. But sometimes you miss a lot of the character, the flow, the plot, when you don't read the whole novel, as if you don't listen to the whole heart of what a person is saying.
You're getting a 30,000
abridged
foot
version.
View level of something, and you got to come down to ground floor level.
Yes.
To get a true grasp on
that
situation.
So good. So I have a funny do you mind if I share it's a funny example of what happened, almost like an illustration of what it looks like when we're not listening. Do you mind if I share that?
Go right ahead.
Okay. So it's actually just a funny thing. So we were, and it's actually not anything big, but it's just funny. Okay. So this was, I think, a day or two ago, and I think it was yesterday morning. I want to say we were going to run errands. Okay. And you were downstairs and I was upstairs.
Okay.
And you were waiting on me and I was waiting on you.
Oh, okay. I remember this.
Okay. And so both of us, I'm just thinking, man, I don't know if he had to go to the bathroom again. What is the situation? Why? Like, I don't know. It's taken so long. So I was just kind of like, twiddling my thumbs, thinking I'm being all patient. And he was the same. And then we had this realization. He's at the bottom of the stairs. I'm at the top of the stairs. And we were both waiting on the other.
Right.
But neither went to see where the other was.
Right.
And that's kind of what communication is.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of in your separate level of the house or in totally
Mm-hmm.
different rooms. And if one person has a certain mindset and the other person has that other mindset,
Right.
you are in totally different rooms, totally different levels of the house.
Yeah.
And you're not having communication to understand.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good example.
Oh, thanks.
It's being on different wavelengths, right?
Different
You're on
wavelengths.
the first floor. I was in the basement, in the garage.
Exactly.
We both were thinking, okay, we're heading out the door together, waiting on someone. You thought I was, still up on the main level of the home, and I'm waiting on you to come down into the garage.
Right. So maybe your goal is you both want a happy, fulfilling marriage, but you feel like something is stopping you from getting there.
Right.
And really listening is such a tool that it is a practice, it is a habit, it is a skill.
It's a discipline, right?
It's a discipline because we're bad at it a lot of times. Like there'll be seasons that we're really good at it. And then it's just like, we'll just not be good at it. Like, because we're tired, or like you said, because our minds are just going in a million different directions and we're kind of like, speed it up. We got to go on to this next thing.
Yeah. A lot of it's the pace of society and the world that we live in.
I agree with what you say there.
Our schedules become so maxed out. We have so many things that we've committed ourselves to, with less and less time in our day. And so a lot of it takes away our patience for the pause, to listen. It's like, hurry up, get it out.
Yes.
Don't have all day.
And I think what you said at the beginning really was just gold, which was the fruit it takes. And I mentioned self-control, but really what you said, and I really want to highlight this, is it takes every fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control, all of the fruit of the Spirit. Okay.
Right.
It takes all of those working together synergistically. And how do we do that? By abiding. Apart from Him, we can do nothing. Apart from our Lord, we can do nothing. So by really abiding intentionally in His love, and then as I'm listening to you, really it's posturing ourselves, not just to hear, but to posture ourselves to, I want to understand your heart.
Right. And that's key.
Right. And for me, when you listen to me, and I can tell you are really like, Adam is so good. If I have a long day, or he can tell something is bothering me, when you pull that out of me just to understand, there's this place where I feel emotionally safe. And I think whenever someone you can tell when someone's heart really does want to understand, then it creates this emotional safety, this buffer, where really good things happen.
Right.
Yeah.
It's important to make the person you're speaking to, that's communicating, feel safe, feel that, hey, I'm going to be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry, right? Depending on the subject matter.
Yes, yeah.
When you feel that reassurance and you feel safe, and you can truly let your guard down and share what's on your heart without fear of repercussion.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I think that's the challenge we face oftentimes in life and in relationships and marriage, is we're not doing those things.
We're not doing those things, right?
Right.
And I think because especially like in close relationships and the bond of marriage and everything, sometimes I don't know about you, but sometimes I can think there'll be an intent of offense and there's none there, especially if I'm going through something, if my hormones are off or whatever, I'm a girl, so it's not just that, but there's so many factors that can make us feel more vulnerable in a moment. And then the other person doesn't even mean something that I am internalizing. This has happened countless times in marriage. Can anyone relate? Right. But then when we come full circle and we actually say, really, I think there's a wholehearted listening place where we're not listening from this guarded place, but we're listening like I'm emotionally available. I don't have my guard up. I am really listening to understand.
Right.
And I think even non-verbally, how we posture ourselves, if we're not like, crossing your arms and everything, I think the other person can feel that.
Right. Body language, demeanor, everything helps play into it. Energy, your facial expressions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Because a lot of times when someone's explaining something to you, how often do we become maybe unaware, or maybe we are aware of our facial expressions? Are we getting upset? Are we looking at them kind of like, I don't know about this, because as they're speaking to you,
they're picking up on
it and saying, this person's not believing a word I'm saying, or they're judging me, or they're already preparing their response.
Well, and a lot of times you can, if you're right. So if someone's kind of you're trying to open up your heart, and someone's saying they're not believing a word I'm saying or whatever, it's probably because you're, guarded.
Right.
And so you're not creating that safe place to speak, And so, a lot of times in marriage, you first have to have that relaxed place to open up. And that could be in a date setting, but when you are in a very, very busy season, I think what you said right from the beginning, it is so important to practice love, self-control in our conversations. And that's really in the spirit is where listening begins.
Yep.
Listening begins in the spirit. It really, really does. It doesn't begin in our ears. It doesn't begin in what we say. But, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so sometimes our hearts, if they are not renewed through the power of the Holy Spirit, through his love, then sometimes we'll say things that are not like, oh my goodness, didn't really mean it that way, but it could come out sarcastically or whatever, but then it's there, And so throughout marriage, there are going to be times that you're not going to say everything perfectly. Feelings will get hurt at different times, but if you can just press through and come back to that place of full listening,
right,
then
giving opportunity to elaborate, to explain,
then you won't be in those different rooms. The same, you'll be on the same wavelength. Yeah. So, anything else about listening that you can think of?
Listening is an art that gets fine-tuned throughout life. I see it as exercising. It's something that you have to practice actively. Right. Otherwise, it becomes dull. It weakens. And so you have to really be conscientious, mindful of those moments. Every time you're engaging with someone, whether it's a child, a sibling, a coworker, your spouse, always be mindful in those moments. Like, all right, am I listening to understand? Am I being slow in my responses? Am I emitting the fruits of the Spirit in this moment? And it's.
Oh, I love how you said that, to emit them. Are you displaying them in their fullness, in their glory? Because you may have, if you think about an actual tree, at times it may be very fruitful. It doesn't mean that it's a bad tree per se. It may have good roots, maybe, but those roots have to be watered. There has to be sunlight. There has to be a growth process for that fruit to be emitted in conversations. And so God is continually working on all of us. It can be really, we may have moments where we won't even realize it, but we can be in pride if we don't admit our own faults. I know I have been there before, and I think, I'm just, doing so well with my words, and then I will hit a season of stress and then not so much.
Right.
And so I think it's very, very, very important to not have a judgmental heart, not to have a critical heart, because my goodness, we all have been recipients of God's grace, and now we're just walking it out in everyday life.
Yeah, because it's not a matter of, you may completely disagree with what is being communicated to you.
Right.
And I think our knee-jerk reaction a lot of times is to quickly dismiss what the other person is saying, because we instantly assume or we recognize that what they are explaining to me I disagree with, so I'm going to shut it down.
Yeah. Okay. Knee-jerk reaction.
Right. And
That's
so I think
good, Adam. Yeah.
when someone feels dismissed, right, all of a sudden they're upset because I want to be able to
be heard out. Yes.
Whether or not you agree with me or not, I want to feel heard out.
I want to feel heard out.
And so I think that's the main thing I feel
really good.
Is when we automatically try to shut down conversations because we think I already know where you're going with this.
Right.
And then you just kind of put a hard stop on it.
Adds fuel to the fire.
Adds fuel to the fire because it's not a sign of respect to the person that you're talking to.
That's really, really good. So leave that space.
Right.
That pause and really, when we're interested in what the other person has to say, that really invites them to say more fully what you said, what is on that person's heart, and they're not going to truncate or edit the message. It will be more of a full free flow, and it won't it'll be more of a river of words, if you will, instead of just a reserve place.
So you always want to always have curiosity.
Oh, thank you. That was such another great point. Okay. So I'm so excited about that word curiosity, because in life, that will keep you from having a critical and judgmental heart, because you don't know kind of day that a person has been through. You can, I think probably one of my biggest pet peeves, which is when people are knee-jerk critical. Okay.
Right.
And I myself have been knee-jerk critical before. Okay. But it is one of my biggest pet peeves. And it's something that I always want to work on, because, like I said before, nobody, except for the grace of God, we cannot assume. We can never assume about the other person. We don't know. Let's be curious. Let's lean into curiosity, as you said, about that person, about their day, about their heart, about their intention, because we may read into another person's intention that was not even there.
Right.
Okay. And so the enemy of our hearts can only operate in confusion. And so clear communication and listening is really a tool that we have through the Spirit to clear up confusion, to clear any muddy water in a conversation, which, I love that. Thank you, Adam. That was phenomenal what you said, the fruit of the Holy Spirit and curiosity, and really being quick to listen.
Right.
Slow to speak.
It's one of those things where, we have our struggles in this area, and even though we're saying all the right things, you have to actively practice it. And so
we're working on it.
We're working on it. It's a thing, just like, we both like to exercise. We work on it. We've never have arrived. it's something that you maintain.
Yeah.
And just actively practice.
Yeah, we may have weeks, months where we'll do really well,
Right.
and then we'll have patches where we don't. But I think the key that we have always continued is to always come back to a place that we deeply love each other.
Right.
We deeply love each other and we're deeply committed to each other. And then we get back to the practicing.
Exactly. So,
all right.
Well, I hope this conversation has helped you in some way. If it has, it'd greatly bless us if you like and subscribe to our channel.
And share
that way you get notifications whenever we drop a new video.
Now share, but I will say don't share with your spouse in the heat of an argument. That's probably not wise. But do share with someone that you think may benefit. So be blessed.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.